Hi, my name's Sunny Giovanni, and today I will be giving a presentation on heart health. And my purpose behind doing this presentation is because, one, this is for my Gold Award, which is the highest honor that a Girl Scout can achieve. And second of all, I chose heart health as my topic because um, while I was growing up, a lot of my family members had heart diseases, and I found out that the heart disease that they had could have been prevented if they took preventative measures such as maintaining a better diet and keeping healthy, but now they are dependent on medication because they did not keep up with their heart health previously. So I want to educate people on how they can maintain their proper heart health so that in the future they won't be as susceptible to getting heart diseases and won't be dependent on medication. So, first of all, did you know that heart disease is the number one cause of death in the U.S.? Yes, it has a higher rate of affecting people than cancer. So, yeah, and so every 1 in 3 deaths are from heart disease and or stroke, and that about one person dies every 30 seconds in the U.S. from cardiovascular disease. So in the 10 minutes about the 10 minutes that this presentation will be going on, approximately 12 to 13 people will die from cardiovascular disease, which is crazy. And about over 500,000 Americans die from heart disease each year. So, and the most common uh, heart disease is coronary artery disease. So, there are certain risk factors that put you at a higher chance of having heart diseases, and that is having high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, and smoking and vaping. Those are the three main risk factors behind heart disease. And then there's other risk factors, including diabetes, overweight, or obesity, but a lot of what goes into the susceptibility or the higher chance of having heart disease is through your lifestyle choices, and that's through your unhealthy diet, your physical inactivity, and excessive alcohol use. So the three main risk factors, the high blood pressure, the high blood cholesterol, and the smoking and vaping, um, about half of all Americans present with at least one of these three risk factors. Um, but the higher emphasis is put on your lifestyle choices. So there are other factors that can go into your chance of having cardiovascular disease, and that could be your sex, race, ethnicity, genetics. So genetics does play a role in uh, whether you could have heart disease or not. Um, like I am at a higher risk of having heart disease because it runs in my family, but I'm taking proper precautions with maintaining my lifestyle choices, such as my diet and my exercise. So I am looking out for that. So as long as you're looking out for that, does play a role, but as long as you keep up with your lifestyle choices, you will be at a lower risk of having heart disease. And sex does not really play a role in it because male and females, percentage-wise, have about the same chance of having heart disease. And race and ethnicity does play a role. So if you look at the graphic, race and ethnicity does play a role, and such as African Americans, American Indians, and white people have heart disease as their number one leading cause of death. And Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, and Hispanics have heart disease as their second leading cause of death, with cancer being the first. And this could be linked to their heritage, where their diet is generally much healthier than that of the U.S. So, so if you look at that, that's still linked to your lifestyle choices on where you are at a higher risk of having heart disease or not. So, lifestyle choice. Moral of the story is lifestyle choices have the highest impact of um, your chance of having heart disease. So, what are the different types of cardiovascular disease? So, there's the congenital heart defects, which are when you're what you are born with. So you could be born with like a hole in your heart, uh, abnormal size of your heart, and all of that things, and it could be either fixed at birth with a surgery, or it can affect you in the long run. But the main one is coronary artery disease, and coronary artery disease is when it's caused by a plaque buildup in the arteries, and is usually the first sign of a heart attack. so it's directly linked to a heart attack. Congestive heart failure is when your heart muscle doesn't pump blood as well as it should, and it's usually caused by the narrowing of arteries from your coronary artery disease or high blood pressure. So CHF, heart failure, and heart attacks go hand in hand. But coronary heart failure is when there's a blockage, and then a myocardial infarction or a heart attack is when the arteries are blocked and the blood flow cannot occur, which causes the heart muscle to start to die. So, yeah, going to heart attacks, did you know that someone has a heart attack in the US about every 40 seconds, which is also a crazy statistic? So, what is a heart attack? So, as I previously said, it's when the arteries are blocked and blood flow cannot occur, which causes the heart muscle to die. So, because the heart muscle is dying, it's better for you to find out that someone's going through a heart attack as quickly as possible and get EMS on site because every second is vital with a heart attack. So, because your heart muscle is dying. So every second that goes by, your heart muscle is slowly dying, even not slowly, but like continuously dying. So, major signs and symptoms of a heart attack are the usual chest pain or discomfort, nausea. In females, nausea, feeling lightheaded or unusually tired is a sign that it could be linked to a number of different things. So, when someone presents with nausea or feeling lightheaded, you don't always expect it to be a heart attack. So, in females, heart attacks go more unnoticed than males because of their different signs and symptoms that they face. And then there's also the pain and discomfort in the jaw, neck, or back, pain or discomfort in the arm or shoulder, and shortness of breath. So when you are going through a heart attack, when someone has a heart attack, what you want to do is to get a proper heart rhythm and get the heart starting again. You're gonna go through CPR. For CPR, this major steps for CPR is calling 911, getting EMS on the site as quickly as possible is the best thing you can do because your heart muscle is rapidly dying. So you want to get EMS on there so they can take proper measures and get them the help that they need. So you're going to lay the person on their back and open their airways, check for breathing. So they're not breathing, start CPR. If they are breathing, you're not going to start CPR because that would be bad. And then you're going to do your 30 chest compressions and 2 rescue breaths. And you're going to repeat this until you get an AED, which is the automatic external defibrillator, which gives a shot to the heart to maintain restore proper heart rhythm. And when you have an AED and CPR, they go hand in hand. So when you use an AED, you need to have CPR going, but you can do CPR without having an AED. So yeah. So food. So lifestyle choices. With your food, you want to introduce like healthy unsaturated fats into your diet, such as nuts. Getting some omega-3s in there in your diet are very good for you because it gives your heart good fats and different vitamins and stuff to maintain good heart health. So you can add things such as nut butters, nuts, all that to your diet, and staying away from saturated fats such as butter or margarine when you're cooking or baking. And then things you should avoid that everybody always says avoid your fast foods, all your like sugary drinks and all the sugar and stuff. But you want to keep a nice balance. So you don't want to deprive yourself of these things, but you also don't want to have a high diet in these things. So you want to create a nice balanced diet. And, okay, so exercise is a big thing when it comes to your lifestyle choices and heart health. So recommended by the CDC is to have um, at least 30 minutes of aerobic exercise at least 5 days a week. So it can go from walking, running, swimming, any of that stuff, but you want to get your heart going. In addition to getting heart aerobic cardio, you also want to introduce body weight exercises and different exercises at whatever level you can in order to maintain your heart health and keeping active. So yeah, these are just some of the lifestyle choices and just a little bit about heart health. So yeah, thank you for listening to my presentation.